Welcome to Wonders of Wildlife here in Springfield, Missouri, some of the biggest whitetail collection you'll ever see in the world. But also welcome to Bob Foulkrod's Hunting Adventure, where this week we do the second half of my nephew's place down in Texas. It's the first time that my brother and I ever hunted whitetail deer together. A lot of memories being made right there. And Trish, Jim's wife, had passed on, so we dedicate this show back to her. So happy Thanksgiving from myself, Bass Pro Shop, Victor Chevrolet. Think about the memories that you've made and keep those memories alive by sharing them every time you sit down to a Thanksgiving meal together.
Host Bob Foulkrod joins his extended family for a special Thanksgiving hunt.
My brother is 78 years old, and that's the first time that we actually sat in a stand and hunted deer together.
Give us a shot right there. Give it to him. Shoot him.
Foulkrod brothers, nephews, fathers, and daughters convene in Texas for a soon-to-be legendary holiday hunt.
Get on the gun. He turns the broadside and hit the shoot. Put it right on his shoulder there.
The family that hunts together stays together. Never more true than here. So consider yourself at home.
When was the last time you hunted together? When was the last time you buried all your frustrations and got together just because he had an old rifle and you wanted to hunt together one more time?
Victor Chevrolet, Bass Pro Shops, and Alamocitos Ranch present Bob Foulkrod's Hunting Adventures. Seven continents, 80 species, a 5-year quest in the making. High adventure, dangerous game. Real-world training tips. This is Bob Foulkrod's Hunting Adventures.
Bob Foulkrod knows a thing or two about Texas whitetails. And this time, he's hunting on his nephew's 1,000-acre ranch in Buck Rich, South Texas, for a family Thanksgiving reunion.
This is the Foulkrod family hunt in Texas, down to my nephew Jim's place.
Well, we started out getting property so we'd have a place to go hunt and we could take kids and friends, and now we've turned it into trying to have a deer operation.
Jim's spread covers 1,000 acres of South Texas brush country, where the bucks are big and plentiful, and the true meaning of family is on full display.
The last time my family was together, my dad was alive, and we was in Clark Range, Tennessee, hunting wild boar.
We had the Tennessee hunt that we did as a family with Grandpa and Dad, my brother, Bob, and myself.
He has that picture in his lodge today, and he understands what making memories are all about.
Bob and I have talked about trying to make something like this happen for a long time. That's what this whole trip is about, is bringing the families together and continuing on what was started a long time ago.
When you're sitting there with a shawl over your shoulders and you don't have enough energy to kick a cat out of the way, it's not about how big or how small or how much money you have. It's all about making memories, and that's just what we did this weekend.
Bob wants to focus on his family this week, so he showed up early to see if he could get a shooter on the ground and devote the rest of this trip to his kin.
I got down here, a few days early just to spend some time with Jim. I hadn't had a chance to spend a lot of time with him. He lives in Texas, I live in Pennsylvania. Well, let's go get this deer. We got the whole family coming in. I want to get my deer out of the way if I possibly can, so I can spend time with everybody that's coming in.
Jim's put his Uncle Bob on a prime Sendero sweet spot, and as the South Texas sun begins to rise, it's clear that this box blind is the right place at the right time.
He's going to end up going further now in a minute. Yep, dropped right there. Broke his legs right out from under him.
Jim got his Uncle Bob a fantastic whitetail. I got lucky right away, and this big buck comes in, and we tip him over. That's a good buck right there, my friend. You've done a good job raising that deer.
Let's go look at this bad boy.
He didn't go far, did he? Oh, he's heavy. He's heavy. People are always going, oh, look at the G1s and G2s, and I always go, yeah, gee whiz, look how big he is. That's a solid 160 buck, and I would say that's probably my biggest Texas deer I ever shot.
Oh, well, that's icing on the cake.
Isn't it? Yeah. This family has no idea what they're in for.
Start out with a bang.
My brother is 78 years old, and that's the first time that we actually sat in a stand and hunted deer together.
Here comes a shot right there. Shoot him.
Bob Folkrod's Hunting Adventures is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Vortex, Kinatrek, Kufaru.
As people who love the outdoors, we know what we stand for. We stand for fish, wildlife, and conserving the places they call home. We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we stand together for you.
For everything Chevy, you need to visit Victor Chevrolet, the place where my family and I get our vehicles. With a large selection, dedicated employees, quick service, and amazing savings, I became the biggest fan of Victor Chevrolet. If you're looking for a reliable vehicle and service, look no further than my friends at Victor Chevrolet. 7200 Pittsford Victor Road or victorchevrolet.com. Just check and see if there's room for the cup.
Host Bob Folkrod has bagged his biggest ever Texas buck, and now he and his nephew Jim are looking to help the rest of the family get in on the fun.
My brother's retired, and he doesn't get a chance to hunt very often. And in fact, when he does get a chance to hunt, it's normally with the family, because he understands what it means for the family to get together and hunt.
Today, Bob's back in the blind with his brother Thomas, hoping to add a new chapter to a Folkrod family history book that's filled with fond memories of their youth in Pennsylvania.
Whatever you had going on with the family, whatever your lifestyle was, if you didn't like deer hunting, you always put it aside and you got together and hunted deer just because Dad or Grandpa liked to hunt deer.
The ties between hunting and family run deep with the Folkrods. And as the deer filter in near day's end, Bob and Thomas are exactly where they want to be, together.
I know he was all crunched up in a little box there, but Jim didn't want to stay back. He wanted to be part of it, and I didn't want to stay back, and I wanted to be part of it. So we got in there, and Jim knew the deer and knew what deer he wanted to take out this year and what deer he didn't. At the same time, we were whispering back and forth and catching up on memories and talking about the old days and the new days to come.
While the guys catch up, the sun goes down. And right on schedule, a trio of burly Texas whitetails ramble out of the scrub brush and right into rifle range.
Yeah. The one on the left. It's the front one coming toward us. Okay. You see the one on the right, Thomas? Furthest right. Stay on him. You gotta turn sideways in a minute. Just hang on.
It was a bigger buck than what Jim had picked out for him, and he cooperated, and this buck was coming in.
Come up that back leg. Nice and easy, nice and easy.
And I sat there and I says, shoot for the back leg. And what I was meaning to say was shoot for the opposite leg.
Back leg, you said. Right on the front shoulder. Right on the front leg. Here comes a shot right there. Give it to him. Shoot him. guess I missed him.
Jim thinks he totally missed it. My brother thinks he totally missed it. I thought he shot him right in the butt because I see him drag that leg. And we got out. I got to tell you, it was an emotional moment.
All right, let's go look for him. Should be right in here someplace. He was in front of that tree. Then he went this way.
My brother, realistically, that was his last buck that he was going to get a chance to shoot. He was really wanting to make a great shot on it for my nephew and for me and everybody. And until we seen that blood trail and we got our hands on it, it was a very emotional, memory-making moment right then, as I guess is the best way I can say it.
Here you go. There's some more. There's some. Right here's where he cut in, right here. If he stands up, give him another one. You see him?
Look at that buck. Perfect shot. I wouldn't have expected anything any different. He didn't go very far at all. Right there he laid, and actually he made a perfect shot on it. My brother is 78 years old, and that's the first time that we actually sat in a stand and hunted deer together. You know, that's some special moments right there, some real special meaning, and that was the first time I'd ever been with my brother when he had shot a deer. I know we were all crowded in there, but I wasn't going to stay back. I wanted to see this.
That's a fantastic animal.
Brother's got his biggest deer down, and he turned around and he was just beaming from one ear to the other. You're not too happy, are you? That meant everything to Jim, that my brother get at least one more big deer in his lifetime. And if he never shot another deer, right then, if we stopped right then, he was happy. Well, let me give you a little bit of maybe where I'm coming from. To me, it's not, you know, the size of these deer, but it's about being together. David and Peter came from Michigan, and Dylan came down from Pennsylvania, and we all got together. We all sat around the table and give thanks that we all got a chance to sit down one more time. I'm telling you what, it's hard to put a memory on that. That's going to keep everybody supercharged for how many more years it takes for us to get together. So all you people that are watching this, when was the last time you hunted together? When was the last time you buried all your frustrations and got together just because you had an old rifle and you wanted to hunt together one more time?
I mean, it's been forever since I've seen the Bob Folkrod. I didn't really know what exactly to expect coming into the trip, but finally he turns broadside and I get the perfect shot.
Transportation for all of Bob Folkrod's hunting adventures is provided by Victor Chevrolet. Check them out at victorchevrolet.com.
Hi, my name is Kevin Renna. I'm the Chevy sales manager here at Victor Chevrolet. I'd like to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving.
So far, so good on the Folkrod family's Thanksgiving hunt, as 2 big bucks are down already. And now, Jim's daughter Leah is the next memory maker.
One of the greatest deals is the ability to hunt with my daughters. And my daughter said that she can't imagine ever not hunting with me.
Hunting has always been just kind of like a father-daughter bonding time, and I get to participate in something that he loves, that he has a passion for, and then we just get to sit together in the blind and share just the special moment. It's a great experience.
When you have these moments, you know, they're precious times together, and creating a bond beyond just father-daughter. When you incorporate hunting, it is another element that brings families together.
For Leah, hunting whitetails with her dad is always special, but having her great uncle Bob along definitely takes the experience to a whole nother level.
I mean, it's been forever since I've seen the Bob Folkrod. I didn't really know what exactly to expect coming into the trip, but it definitely put on a little bit more pressure. I want to get this deer in front of Bob Folkrod, get a good hit, and have my dad be super happy as well, and of course get the deer.
It's gonna take a lot more than wishing and hoping to take a buck that rivals the ones that Bob and Thomas already have taken. But Lee is game to give it a shot.
This week's training tip is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition.
Hey, today we're going to talk about making memories, making your own memories, passing traditions down. And right next to me, you're going to see a whole collection of Winchester firearms. Every time I look at one of them, I almost get tears in my eyes. It brings back memories. You know, right from my first .22 that my dad bought me when I was probably 8 years old, right down to my first Model 12 shotgun that he actually cut the stock off to make it fit me. The first gun that he actually bought that I really remember is the Model 7375. You might recently saw a show on that where I continued to keep his memory alive when I took it up to Utica and killed a grizzly bear with it. And the little 243, both my grandsons killed their first deer with that. I'll tell you what, hard to put a value on those kind of memories. When I'm too old, sitting in this rocking chair, don't have enough energy to kick the cat out of the way, my grandsons are going to tell me about these rifles and these firearms. You can't put a value on that. Don't leave your grandfather's or grandmother's old gun in a gun cabinet. Take it back out every hunting season, at Thanksgiving time, and talk about it. Talk about the memories that you remember of that firearm, and pass it on, and make sure your family and your kids and your grandkids are listening to it, because that's how we keep memories and traditions alive.
And that, my folks, is the tip of the day.
Hi there, I'm Jeff Fernandez, Service Manager of Victor Chevrolet, wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Few are those that have a more storied hunting career on video than Bob Folkrod. Legendary moments, documented in front of the unblinking camera eye for over 30 years. This week's Flashback Hunt is brought to you by Sims Vibration Laboratory.
You ever had a goal? Of course you had. When you was young, it was easy. Save up for that new bike, go on that first camping trip. Then as you got older, there was a car, going off to college, then a home, then sending your kids off to college. What if I only give you 5 years to live? What would you do with that? In my case, I had just lost my father, my greatest fan. I didn't have anybody to come back and tell stories to. My father had never been to those places. Sitting in there in my home living room looking at a Safari Club magazine. I had 55 animals in North America on that list. I said, that'd be a good goal to do. They break things down like the white-tailed deer more, and they break things like the muskox. There's 2 muskox of Greenland and the Barren Ground. There's more bears. So right now there's 55 animals on that quest from the Safari Club. I said, I might as well add to it and throw the big 6 in Africa. The World Slam of Turkeys. Then I got going to Russia for Marco Polos and Ibexes and New Zealands and Australias, places I never thought I'd be. And even if it didn't happen, I can tell you one thing, I have seen some of the most prettiest places in the whole world, but it did happen. 275 to 300 days a year I spent on the road trying to accomplish 80-some animals.
Keep looking at something over there, but if things go right, we should have that buck come in from the right and he'll work itself over to the other side. Oh, good, good. There he is. Yes, that's him. That's him. Oh, man. Beautiful buck. It'll take him a second before he gets comfortable. Just let him settle down.
He was really skittish the whole time. I don't know why, and then he wasn't giving me many opportunities.
I don't know what was going on. The deer were really nervous. He came across and boy, he was dancing around and coming back and we weren't going to gamble with him. I said, get on to him.
He's nervous. Get on the gun. He turns broadside. You need to put it right on his shoulder there. We need time to squeeze it right on his shoulder.
Finally, he turns broadside and I get the perfect shot.
Atta girl. Atta girl. I think you laid some smack on him. He didn't come across this road here anyways. You feel good with it? Atta girl.
I didn't tell her what deer we were trying to go after yesterday because I didn't want to put any extra pressure on her, but that's her biggest buck, and I know that she was overwhelmed when that sucker stepped out.
I always love the tracking. It's like a puzzle. You find all the blood trail, just getting to walk along with them, and they know everything to look for.
And when we got there and she could really truly get her hands on it and get the magnitude of how physically big he was and how massive and everything, she was on cloud 9 and I was right there with her.
There we go. What a buck.
Huge.
He is huge, isn't he?
Feels like every time I looked at this deer, like his antlers kept growing, like his body size kept growing. Like every time I turned back and looked at him, he was just that much bigger. So I guess it just never really sunk in how big it really was. I definitely want to say thank you, Daddy. He's done so much to be able to get all of this together and have everyone be successful. I know he's really proud and gets to be able to share this experience.
There's plenty to be thankful for on this late November hunt, as Leah not only adds another big buck to the list, but also another memory to this heartwarming holiday hunt.
Yeah.
Jim sits there and he knows what it meant for this family to get together, and he wanted to shoot a deer, so he gets in a blind.
He's gonna get the shot right there.
This segment has been brought to you by the Victor Chevrolet Deal of the Week. Check them out at victorchevrolet.com. Chevrolet.com. Find new roads.
Victor Chevrolet, same place I get my trucks from, and you should too.
Together is about a little kitchen table and a little elbow grease. Together is about a shelf in the back of Dad's shop. Together is about family. And it's about all the memories that lie ahead. Start your adventure with the experience, selection, and wonder you can only find at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Happy Thanksgiving from Victor Chevrolet.
As the host of Winchester Legends, Bob Folkrod's always focused on creating memories and preserving traditions. And this time, he's got something special to share with his extended Texas family.
Well, I got a fairly new gun. It's a Model 70. It's called a Super Grade. It's a super looking gun. Maybe that's why they call it the Super Grade. It's a 300 short mag. You know, I've taken it on sheep hunt. I've taken it on over to Africa. You know, so I'm making my memories with it myself. I came down here and I shot my deer with that rifle. We let Thomas, my brother, shoot his deer and Leah shoot her deer with it. And then at the end, which was a surprise, Jim even got a chance to shoot with it. And don't tell him, but that's gonna be his someday. And I already know who he's gonna pass it on to, because Leah shot her deer with it. She's gonna pass it on down, and that's Uncle Bob's gun. And I write up a little story and tell where it's been and what it's done, and that's how we keep my memory alive.
To get the most out of their future family heirloom, the Folkrods have been shooting Winchester's PowerPoint ammunition. These devastating rounds feature a PowerPoint tip, strategic notching, and an alloyed lead core that together assures deeper penetration, reliable expansion, and the massive knockdown power designed for more one-shot kills. And now, hunters can enhance their shooting with Winchester's Ballistics Calculator, available online or as an app. Plug in your cartridge, chart its performance, and never be left guessing in the field. 3 Folkrods up and 3 big bucks down. Now it's Jim's turn to see if he can make a Thanksgiving memory of his own with Uncle Bob's handsome 300 Win short mag.
Now we got Lee out done, and then Jim sits there and he knows what it meant for this family picture, this family get together, and he wanted to shoot a deer, so he gets in a blind. Actually, Thanksgiving morning.
Sure enough, Jim's incredible ranch doesn't disappoint. As not even an hour into the sit, an impressive buck shows up and starts working his way into range.
We jumped there in the morning. It was a little foggy, and the deer seemed to be moving late. And we had 3 doe in, and another doe came in, and we looked up on top of the hill, and here comes this big old bad boy with a chocolate rack.
That big buck coming in. Yeah, not coming from his normal direction. That's him. Man, we got a tremendous buck coming in. I mean, if this goes down, what a way to finish this hunt up.
He walked up in there and came over to the side. Jim's using that Model 7 to 300 short mag. Boy, he took out of there like a house of fire, right into the big brush lot. And we got up there and there wasn't any blood, and I keep looking in the direction where we last saw him.
I want to say he was right here, should be anyway. This big tree right here is where I last saw him. Yeah, that's where I last saw him.
We got him.
Oh my goodness.
What a finish for the Folkrod family as they go 4 for 4 on trophy bucks, while tightening the ties that bind and creating their own Winchester legends.
I would like to thank my nephew Jim for providing us a fantastic Texas adventure to come down here and hunt together. I would like to thank my brother that's been the best brother in the whole world. This was a deer hunt down in Texas, but what brings you together? It could be a rabbit hunt, a squirrel hunt, it could be a golf game, it could be just going to the beach. It's going to get the family together at a special time of the year to give thanks and make your own memories, whatever your sport is.
For help with all of your hunt booking needs, contact J&M Safaris at jnmsafaris.com. After your successful hunt of a lifetime, contact Wes Good at CanadiStudio.com for the finest taxidermy in the business. Be sure to follow Bob and all his adventures at bobfolkrod.com/TV and facebook.com/bfolkrod. And don't forget to hit the like button.